all different gauges, all different sizes for different weight branches, but I always start with